Well, first let me welcome you to NewFinance and tell you a bit about what we do. We've been running these insurance disruptor sessions to really examine specific technologies like analytics and big data or quantified self or something like telematics, and saying how does this disrupt the insurance industry, and then how do existing and new participants take advantage of that. So how do they create business models around these new technologies? So the purpose of this session, and we'll be running similar ones from September, is to work our way through a number of technologies. Today's agenda is pretty straightforward. I'll explain some of the objectives, and we're going to do 2 breakout sessions. We'll break into probably 2 groups here. We'll look at potential areas of disruption, how to harness those disruptors. It's about understanding analytics and big data and getting some actionable sort of ideas about how we can actually use that. How will this affect the existing industry? How does it create new products and services? And where's the market likely to go? Although clearly we don't know that, but we can kind of guess from banking what's happening. It's certainly having a massive effect in banking. So, and I think analytics and big data is generally considered to be the sort of killer app for insurance. So we have a really good range of people. We've got a lot of tech expertise. Just very briefly, what I found useful to do is just to think about big data and analytics and just wonder what it is. So we're not going to go into the technologies here. We're only really interested in the principles. I think what's happened, and it's interesting, Matt, you might have an opinion on this, conventional databases like SQL database and so on and so forth have this very, very sort of structured schema. There's this new world that these guys produce and certain other companies where, to all intents and purposes, you can dump pretty much everything in these auto-sharding, cloud-based systems. So you can pretty much capture everything. And underlying this, you've got cloud as well. So you've got a huge amount of cores you can bring online. So for the purpose of this workshop, just assume you can record everything and you can analyze everything. Just assume that those are the principles and that's actually feasible. And that's probably realistic today to most intents and purposes, right? You can pretty much record everything and you can analyze it because you can have 1,000 cores if you want it. What I'm chasing for here is one of the key things about big data and analytics is you machine learn from the analytics. So, and the point is it's beyond the wit of man. So with SQL in the old world, the DBAs can actually can do analytics themselves. In this new world, it's beyond the wit of man. There's too much data, so you have to machine learn. So you learn things that you would not have learned otherwise, that humans wouldn't have learned. So that's the thing I'm interested in terms of big data. It's one of the key differentials between kind of, what do you call the old world? Small data and big data. So in this new world, the machine learning can produce revelations and actionable knowledge that you wouldn't get otherwise, and you couldn't get with a team of DBAs. A couple of other ideas. One is analytics for analytics' sake is pointless. There's no point in just taking all the data and finding out revelations which then don't result in actionable knowledge. And by actionable knowledge, I mean something that you can apply that has real value. And that may be obvious. It has to hit the bottom line, or it has to produce value, or you produce a lot of really interesting information that never gets applied. And finally, a thing I think is relevant to insurance is ethics. So this is another big issue around the whole insurance thing and all the data and what you can and cannot apply. So what we're going to do now is we're going to break out into groups. We'll take about 45 minutes, and the challenge for each group is to essentially think through the insurance value chain and identify areas that could be disrupted. So the first question is, which areas of the value chain could be disrupted by this technology? So you're essentially going to map that out.